I knew the night was doomed the moment my blind date, Marissa, walked in, glanced at me, and winced, as if she had just realized she'd ordered the wrong meal. "Wow," she said, not even sitting down yet. "You look different from your pictures." I hadn't even opened my mouth, and somehow, I was already the problem. She finally sat across from me at the small Italian restaurant, but the distance felt like 2 continents. She spent the next 15 minutes scrolling her phone, sighing dramatically, and complaining about how she should have stayed home to wash her hair. By the time the waiter came to take our order, she didn't even look up. "Yeah, just water," she said. "I'm not staying long." That should have been the end of it, but my pride whispered, maybe it'll get better. Spoiler, it didn't. Marissa launched into a monologue about her ex, how rich he was, how he took her on yacht trips, how dating normal guys was a charity act she rarely participated in. I smiled politely, nodded where appropriate, and tried not to look like someone whose soul was slowly dissolving. But fate, who had been awfully quiet all evening, apparently decided it was time to intervene. Because the girl sitting at the table beside us kept glancing over. Not in a rude way. More like she was watching a train wreck she wished she could stop. She had warm eyes, curly hair pulled back in a loose ponytail, and the kind of expression that said, "I feel sorry for this guy." I tried to ignore her. But she kept listening. And wincing every time Marissa said something awful. Finally, after Marissa excused herself to touch up her lip gloss, translation, call her friend and rant about me, the girl at the next table leaned slightly toward me. "You okay?" she whispered. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. "I've had better dental surgeries." She laughed, softly, sincerely. The kind of laugh you want directed at you again and again. "I'm sorry," she said. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop. I just couldn't help overhearing. "Believe me," I said. "If I could help overhearing, I would." She grinned, then hesitated, as if contemplating something bold. And then she said it. "We should date instead." I blinked. "What?" She shrugged with playful confidence. "I mean, she clearly doesn't want to be here. And you seem like you're actually trying. So if she bails, and it sounds like she will, come sit with me. My name's Emma, by the way." Emma. Even her name sounded kinder than my entire evening. Before I could reply, Marissa returned, carrying the scent of expensive lipstick and disappointment. "Yeah, so," she said, grabbing her purse, "I'm gonna head out. This just isn't working." "No offense." "All the offense taken," I said under my breath. She left without a backward glance. I sat there for a moment, staring at my half-filled water glass, wondering how on earth I kept ending up in situations like this. Then I looked to my right. Emma was still watching me, patient, warm, and smiling like she had been waiting for the cue. "You coming?" she asked. For the first time that night, I felt something shift inside me, like a door cracking open. I moved to her table. Part 2, an unexpected connection. Sitting across from Emma felt easy. Natural. Like the world had rearranged itself into a place where I wasn't just tolerated, I was welcome. "So," she said, "I swear I'm not usually this forward. But watching you go through that, it felt like watching a puppy drown." "Wow. Romantic," I joked. "You know what I mean," she said, laughing. "You were kind. Patient. Too patient, honestly. She didn't deserve that." I shrugged. I figured if I wasn't her type, the least I could do was be nice. "That," she said softly, "is exactly why I wanted to talk to you." Her voice had changed, gentler. Curious. Almost searching. I felt myself relax, the tension of the entire disastrous date melting away. We ordered dessert. We talked about favorite places, embarrassing childhood moments, even our worst fears. She told me about her mother, who always taught her that kindness wasn't weakness, that it was strength wrapped in softness. I told her about my habit of always giving people the benefit of the doubt, even when I shouldn't. "Maybe that's why you met me tonight," she said quietly. There was something in her eyes then, a spark, a warmth, that made me forget all the noise of the restaurant. Part 3, The Moment of Realization. Just as we finished sharing a slice of tiramisu, Emma grew quiet, her fingers nervously tracing circles on the napkin. "Can I tell you something?" she asked. "Anything. I was supposed to be on a date tonight too." I blinked. "Oh?" She nodded. "He never showed." She gave a small, bittersweet smile. I was sitting here, thinking maybe I wasn't worth showing up for. My chest tightened. "And then," she continued, "I heard your date tearing you down. And I thought, is this how we do it now? Do we just let good people walk away thinking they're not enough?" She looked up. So I decided I wasn't going to let that happen. Something inside me clicked. This wasn't just attraction. This wasn't pity. This was two people recognizing the familiar ache of being overlooked, and choosing compassion instead. Part 4, A Kindness That Changed Everything. We left the restaurant together, both a little nervous, both trying not to walk too close or too far apart. Outside, the cold air wrapped around us, turning her cheeks pink. "I'm glad you said something," I told her. She looked at me, almost surprised. "Really? Really?" Tonight could have ended with me feeling like I wasn't good enough. But then you reminded me that kindness matters. That people still pay attention. "You reminded me too," she said. Maybe we both needed tonight. A quiet moment passed between us, soft, warm, fragile. "Emma," I said gently, "would you want to actually go on a real date? Not a rescue mission. Not a distraction. A real one." She smiled, the kind of smile that stays with you long after you go home. "I'd love that," she said. Ending, an uplifting conclusion. We exchanged numbers under the streetlights, both of us smiling like two people who stumbled into something they didn't know they needed. As she walked away, she turned back one last time and said, "Funny how the wrong person can bring you right to the right one." And she was right. What began as the worst blind date of my life became the best twist of fate I'd ever experienced. Sometimes kindness doesn't just heal, it connects. Sometimes disappointment isn't an ending, it's a doorway. And sometimes, the person at the next table is the one you were meant to meet all along.